As the morning sun streamed into the quiet Boston neighborhood, Rebecca Foster was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. The sunlight through the window made her bright auburn hair shine and added warmth to her gentle brown eyes. "Emma, time to get up. You'll be late for school." As she headed toward her 10-year-old daughter Emma's room, Rebecca enjoyed the aroma of coffee she had brewed for her husband Ethan. Her life was filled with genuine happiness. After lightly knocking on Emma's door, a small voice responded, "I'm up, Mom." When she opened the door, Emma was already changing into her uniform and brushing her hair. The light reddish-brown birthmark that spread from her left cheek to her neck was something she had been born with. Though Rebecca had worried about it at first, now it was simply a cherished part of her daughter's uniqueness. "I have a math test today." "I prepared well," Emma said with a serious expression. Her sincerity and kindness always warmed Rebecca's heart. "Wonderful. Daddy's up too, so let's have breakfast together." Downstairs, Ethan was already sitting at the table reading the newspaper. With his short-cropped black hair and muscular build, he gave the impression of a hard-working man. "Good morning, Princess," he smiled as he watched Emma come down the stairs. The scene of the three of them around the breakfast table might have appeared to be the picture of an ideal family from the outside. As Rebecca served pancakes onto plates, she reflected on how precious this happiness was. After struggling as a single mother, her life had changed dramatically in the 5 years since marrying Ethan. "What's your schedule today?" Ethan asked while drinking his coffee. "Paperwork at the office this morning, then meeting with a client in the afternoon," Rebecca replied. She worked as an interior designer from her home office. "I'm going to inspect a new building on the north side today. Should be home by evening." Ethan's explanations about his work were always concise. Rebecca's mother Martha and sister Olivia mistakenly thought of Ethan as just a janitor. In reality, he was the CEO of Evergreen Facilities, a building management company, but he sometimes did cleaning work himself to maintain a connection with the field operations. Ethan never bothered to correct their misunderstanding. His humble nature disliked showing off his position or wealth. After Emma left for school, Rebecca's cell phone rang. Her sister Olivia's name appeared on the screen. "Hello, Olivia?" "Rebecca." "Big news." Her sister's voice was high with excitement. "Brendan proposed to me." Rebecca expressed her genuine happiness. "Congratulations." "When? How did he do it?" Olivia's fiancé Brendan Collins was an executive at the prestigious firm Harrison and Welch, whom she had met a year ago. Rebecca had never met Brendan, but according to Olivia, he was charming and successful. "Last night. At a luxury restaurant, with champagne. I wish I could show you the rose gold diamond ring." Olivia's excited voice burst through the phone. "I told Mom too. She's absolutely thrilled." Rebecca felt truly happy for her sister. But at the same time, she could imagine her mother Martha's reaction. Martha always had strong opinions about her daughter's marriage partners. Olivia's good marriage would be a source of pride for her. Meanwhile, Rebecca's choice was something Martha secretly looked down upon. That evening, as Rebecca had anticipated, Martha called. "You heard from Olivia, right? It's wonderful. Brendan is such a fine man, perfect for Olivia. Harrison and Welch is one of the top firms in the country." Rebecca smiled on the other end of the phone. "Yes, I'm glad Olivia seems happy. She's always made the right choices." Martha's words contained an implicit criticism of Rebecca. "By the way, how is your, husband doing?" "Ethan is fine, Mom. Work is going well." "Well, that's it, good." Martha's voice had lost its enthusiasm. After hanging up, Rebecca sighed. Despite feeling the complexity of family relationships, she had no regrets about her own choices. Ethan was sincere and loved her and Emma with all his heart. That was her definition of happiness. 2 weeks before the wedding, Rebecca received an elegant invitation. A call from Olivia followed. "Rebecca, I need to talk to you about something." Olivia's voice had tension in it. It's about the wedding. What is it? Just tell me if there's anything I can help with. Well, Brendan's family and friends, company executives will be there. It's going to be a very formal ceremony. I understand. We'll dress appropriately, so don't worry. That's not it. Olivia was choosing her words carefully. Please, don't bring Emma. And, not Ethan either. Rebecca caught her breath. What are you saying? I'm sorry. But I don't want Emma's, that birthmark on her face in the photos. And Ethan is, well, he's a janitor, right? It would be embarrassing in front of Brendan's company people. As Rebecca struggled for words, Martha got on the phone. Rebecca, please understand. This is the most important day of Olivia's life. Everything has to be perfect. But, Mom. Martha made a sound like a derisive snort. To be honest, your child has a face I don't want in photographs. Rebecca bit her lip and lowered her head. On the other end of the phone, her family seemed to interpret her silence as agreement. Good, I'm glad you understand. Olivia's voice was filled with relief. Of course, just you should come. We're sisters after all. After hanging up, Rebecca collapsed at the kitchen table. How would she explain this to Ethan and Emma? As a storm raged in her mind, she stared at a family photo. Even by nighttime, Rebecca still hadn't been able to tell Ethan and Emma about the wedding. She couldn't find words that wouldn't hurt them. Ethan, lying in bed, looked up from his papers as if sensing something was bothering her. You okay? You seem troubled. Just tired, Rebecca lied as she lay down beside him. But Ethan's thoughts had already moved to another issue. Something strange happened today, he frowned. At the Harrison and Welch headquarters, security reported a suspicious man frequently coming and going. The man goes straight to the executive floor, but doesn't have an employee badge. Couldn't he be someone's visitor? Rebecca was only half listening. No, he's not following proper procedures. He's started appearing only recently. My instinct tells me something's off. Rebecca was thinking about her sister. As a child, Olivia had been a bright, sincere girl. They were close as sisters, sharing secrets and dreams. But after high school graduation, their paths gradually diverged. Olivia attended business school and pursued success in social circles. Meanwhile, Rebecca loved art and chose a career in interior design. I can't believe she would say such things, Rebecca whispered to herself. Her phone on the table lit up. It was a message from Martha. Pictures from the dress fitting. Olivia will make a beautiful bride. The attached photo showed Olivia trying on a wedding dress at a luxury bridal shop. Martha was smiling proudly beside her. Rebecca sighed. Her own wedding had been modest. Martha had barely been involved, saying nothing fancy is needed for a second marriage. The next morning, Ethan left the house earlier than usual. I have something to investigate today. Might be late, he said as he left. Rebecca had a good idea what her husband was investigating. He was probably concerned about the suspicious activity at the Harrison and Welch building. His instincts were remarkably sharp. Building management required much more observational skills than people imagined. That afternoon, Rebecca picked Emma up from school. Every time she saw her daughter smile, her heart ached. Emma had been looking forward to Olivia's wedding and had repeatedly said, I'll wear a pretty dress. Rebecca had been vague whenever the wedding came up in conversation. After dinner, while Emma was doing homework, Rebecca decided to call Olivia again. Olivia, would you please reconsider? About Emma and Ethan. Rebecca, I've already decided. Olivia's voice was hard. I want to make the best impression possible in front of Brendan's company people. You need to understand. But Emma has been looking forward to it. And she's my daughter. Ethan is my husband. They're both my family. Rebecca's voice trembled. That doesn't mean you can ruin my special day. Olivia raised her voice. If you're going to be so stubborn, you don't have to come either. The call was disconnected. Rebecca was overcome with a mix of sadness and anger. Her sister had completely changed. 3 days before the wedding, Rebecca visited Olivia's apartment as a last attempt. "I just want us all to celebrate as a family," she pleaded, but Olivia remained adamant. "It's my wedding. It will be done my way." With those final words, Rebecca left with slumped shoulders. When she returned home, Ethan was waiting with a serious expression. A stranger sat beside him. "Rebecca, this is Mike Johnson. He's a private investigator who conducted some research at my request." Rebecca was confused. "Research about what?" Ethan took a deep breath. "About Olivia's fiancé, Brendan Collins." "What?" "His real name is Robert Markworth. He's a con artist," Mike said matter-of-factly. "Over the past 10 years, he's gotten engaged to 3 wealthy women and run off with their assets. The real Brendan Collins died 5 years ago, and he's been using that identity." Ethan spread documents on the table. "Here's the evidence. His real face, criminal record, testimonies from previous victims. And his name isn't on the Harrison and Welch employee roster. I checked the company's security system and he's been entering without a proper employee badge. He's probably bribing the security guards." Rebecca collapsed into a chair. "I can't believe it." "Unfortunately, this is the truth," Ethan took her hand. "That's why he didn't want to be photographed. He barely posts face photos on social media. And his suggestion to Olivia about keeping distance from family might have been because he feared his true identity would be exposed." Rebecca was shocked but quickly shifted to practical thinking. "We need to tell Martha and Olivia." "They won't believe us now," Ethan said cautiously. "They're under his spell. Given how they feel about us, any warning would just be seen as trying to interfere." "Then what should we do?" "The wedding is the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll submit evidence to the police. Then, we'll prepare for the wedding day. If he runs before the ceremony, that will be proof. If he shows up, the police will be waiting." Rebecca cried quietly amid the confusion. Her desire to protect her sister conflicted with the pain of rejection. Ethan gently embraced her, whispering, "Whatever happens, we're family. We'll get through this together." On the morning of the wedding day, Rebecca was drinking coffee while gazing at the sunlight streaming through the kitchen window. Her mind was in turmoil. "I think we should notify the police and stop the ceremony," Rebecca pleaded with Ethan. "We have evidence." Ethan slowly shook his head. "The police are taking action. But they need concrete evidence. Even if he is a con artist, they can't make a preventive arrest unless he commits a crime before the wedding. And Martha and Olivia won't listen to anything we say. But to stand by and watch my sister marry a con artist." "I understand," Ethan said quietly. "But without evidence, it would backfire. Olivia would never forgive us." After breakfast, Emma appeared in the living room, holding the light blue dress she had prepared for the special day. "Mom, am I wearing this?" Her eyes sparkled with anticipation. Rebecca's heart tightened. "I'm sorry, Emma. We decided not to go to the ceremony." "Why not?" Emma's expression clouded. "I wanted to see Grandma and Aunt Olivia." "They are a bit busy," Rebecca answered, choosing her words carefully. "Weddings are hectic. Let's have a special day at home instead. We'll watch movies and order pizza. How does that sound?" Emma was clearly disappointed but nodded. "I made a present for Aunt Olivia. Can't I give it to her?" "You can give it to her later," Rebecca's heart ached. She was proud of her daughter's kind heart, while wanting to protect her from the family's complicated circumstances. During the morning, Ethan made several phone calls. He was in contact with the police and the private investigator, Mike. "Robert is still at the venue. He's proceeding with preparations," he reported. As noon passed and the ceremony time approached, Rebecca sat on the sofa with the TV on, but nothing registered. Ethan was checking documents, occasionally glancing at the clock. Emma was quietly reading a book in the corner of the living room. In the tense silence, Rebecca's cell phone suddenly rang loudly. Olivia's name appeared on the screen. Rebecca answered in surprise. Olivia. From the other end, she heard sobbing and a trembling voice. Rebecca, please, help me. Something terrible has happened. Rebecca stood up, sending a glance toward Ethan. What happened? Calm down and tell me. Brendan. Brendan has disappeared. Olivia said between sobs. When I went to the wedding venue, he wasn't there. Nothing has been paid for, the venue staff is demanding cancellation fees. Mom is telling guests he left on urgent business, but... Olivia's voice became broken. Actually, I got a call from security. They said a suspicious man left in a hurry with luggage. Ethan was standing beside Rebecca, listening to the conversation. His expression hardened. Olivia, I'm coming right now, Rebecca said immediately. Where are you? The venue. Central Garden Hotel. Olivia answered in a despairing voice. After hanging up, Rebecca and Ethan quickly sprang into action. Emma, we're going to leave you with Mrs. Thompson next door. It's an emergency. 20 minutes later, Rebecca and Ethan arrived at the Central Garden Hotel. Confused guests had gathered in front of the hotel ballroom. Martha could be seen trying to explain something to them. Martha turned pale for a moment when she saw Rebecca and Ethan. I didn't ask you to come, she said in a low voice. But Olivia called for help, Rebecca replied firmly. Where is she? In the bridal suite, but... Rebecca moved forward without waiting for Martha to finish. Ethan hesitated a moment, then approached Martha. Ma'am, Ethan said in a calm voice. There's something I want to make clear. Martha looked anxiously at Ethan. You are... I'm not a janitor, but the founder and CEO of Evergreen Facilities, Ethan said quietly. And your future son-in-law is a con artist. Martha's eyes widened. Ethan took a stack of documents from his inner pocket and handed them to her. Here's the evidence. His real name is Robert Markworth. He has a history of defrauding multiple women. Martha accepted the documents with trembling hands. Photos, police records, victim testimonies. Everything was there. What caught her eye was the hotel payment record. Nothing had been paid beyond the deposit. This is... The color drained from Martha's face. At that moment, Rebecca and Olivia emerged from the bridal suite. Olivia was in her white wedding dress, her makeup streaked with tears. She stopped when she saw Ethan and Martha looking at the documents. What are you doing? Martha was too shaken to answer. Ethan explained quietly, we were discussing Brendan's, or rather, Robert's true identity. What are you talking about? Olivia looked at Ethan with confusion. He's a con artist, Olivia, Rebecca said gently. He was planning to run off with your assets after marriage. That's a lie. Olivia shouted. Brendan loves me. He's just really busy. Then what about this? Martha showed the hotel payment record. Nothing has been paid. He only put down a deposit. And his identification is fake, Ethan added. The real Brendan Collins died 5 years ago. The color drained from Olivia's face. She staggered and collapsed into a nearby chair. I can't believe it, why? Rebecca sat next to her sister and put an arm around her shoulders. Olivia initially made a gesture of refusal but soon broke down crying in her sister's arms. I've been so foolish. Martha stood stunned. Her eyes reflected the pain of years of arrogance and misjudgment. Is it my fault? I approved of him. Ethan took out his cell phone. I'll contact the police. He might still be caught. In the midst of the chaos, Rebecca held her sister tightly and said, "I want to help you. We're family, aren't we?" Olivia raised her tear-stained face. "But I treated you terribly, about Emma, about Ethan." "You're still my sister," Rebecca said kindly. "When times are tough, that's when family is needed most." Martha slowly approached. Her haughty attitude had completely disappeared, replaced by an expression of deep sadness and regret. "You were right. I was wrong." The lobby of the Central Garden Hotel was filled with confusion and distress. Ethan was talking with the hotel manager, trying to resolve the situation. The police had already arrived and were gathering information about Robert Markworth, the fake Brendan Collins. "My company will guarantee the payment," Ethan quietly told the manager. "Please treat the guests with courtesy." Rebecca was supporting Olivia as they moved to a small conference room. Martha was there too. Her stern expression had crumbled, and deep regret showed on her face. "How could this happen?" Olivia kept mumbling. Her white dress was now wrinkled, and her makeup was streaked with tears. "It's okay," Rebecca squeezed her sister's hand. "You did nothing wrong. He has deceived many people." Martha stood by the window, looking outside. "It's my fault," her voice trembled. "I trusted him so much, and rejected you." Ethan entered the room. His expression was serious, but he maintained his composure. "I heard from the police. There's a record of Robert's credit card being used at the airport. He's already trying to escape." "No." Olivia's voice trailed off. "That's not all," Ethan continued. "When the police searched his room, they found fake bank books and documents. It seems he was planning to move assets immediately after the wedding." Rebecca placed her hand on Olivia's shoulder. "Can the police catch him?" "The chances are high," Ethan nodded. "Police are waiting at the airport. Plus, he's wanted for other fraud cases." Martha quietly approached. "What should we tell the guests?" "I'll speak to them," Ethan said in a calm voice. "We'll just say the ceremony is postponed due to an emergency. Details can come later, after Olivia has recovered." Martha stared at Ethan. "You really are a company CEO?" "Yes," Ethan answered concisely. "Evergreen Facilities. We actually manage this building too." A complex expression crossed Martha's face. In her eyes was the color of remorse for years of prejudice and misunderstanding. "I had misjudged you. There are more important matters now," Ethan said kindly. "Let's get through this together as a family." Hours later, the guests had left, and the hotel had regained its quiet. Rebecca and the others were preparing to go home. "Olivia, why don't you come to our house tonight?" Rebecca suggested. "You shouldn't be alone." Olivia weakly nodded. "Thank you, but I can't face Emma." "Emma will be delighted," Rebecca answered gently. "Besides, she prepared a present for you." Martha said hesitantly, "I too, if it's not an inconvenience." Rebecca was surprised for a moment but quickly smiled. "Of course, Mom, please come." When they arrived at Rebecca's house, Emma had just returned from the neighbors, the Thompsons. She looked surprised when she saw Olivia. "Aunt Olivia. Beautiful dress." Emma exclaimed innocently. "How was the wedding?" A heavy silence fell over the room. Olivia was at a loss for words, and Martha looked down. Ethan said quietly, "Emma, the wedding was postponed due to some problems." "I see." Emma thought for a moment, then said, "But everyone's together, so that's good, isn't it?" The adults exchanged surprised looks at this simple and pure statement. Without a word, Emma left the room and soon returned with a handmade card. "I made this for Aunt Olivia," she proudly presented the card. "I wrote, 'Congratulations.'" Olivia accepted the card with trembling hands. The cover was decorated with colorful flowers and the word, "Congratulations." For the first time, she looked seriously at Emma's face. The birthmark from her left cheek to her neck wasn't as noticeable as she had previously thought. More striking were Emma's kind smile and shining eyes. "Thank you, Emma," Olivia's voice trembled with emotion. "It's a beautiful card." Emma smiled happily. "Mom told me. What's in your heart matters more than how you look." Olivia looked at Rebecca. Tears welled up in her eyes. "You're a wonderful mother. I've been so foolish." After dinner, when Emma was in bed, the adults were talking quietly in the living room. Ethan's cell phone rang. "It's the police," he answered the call. After a brief conversation, he looked up. Robert was arrested at the airport. He was just about to board the plane. "Really?" Olivia's voice was small. "Yes. He was also wanted for other fraud cases. He'll be in prison for a long time." Martha sank deep into the sofa. "What will happen to us?" "The scandal. Time will heal it," Rebecca said quietly. "Besides, you're the victim, Mom." Olivia was staring out the window. "My life is in ruins." "No," Rebecca sat next to her sister. "It's a new beginning. You're still young and talented. This is just a temporary setback." "But I'm so ashamed." "Everyone makes mistakes," Rebecca said kindly. "What matters is learning from them." Martha slowly stood up and turned to Ethan. "I must apologize to you. I misjudged you." Ethan smiled gently. "Don't worry about it. I value worth as a person more than status or titles." "We should learn from that," Martha said softly. Watching this scene, Rebecca was filled with complex emotions. She felt that through this sad event, family bonds were being newly forged. The moonlight from outside shone through the window, quietly illuminating their figures. 6 months later, a meeting for a new project was taking place at Rebecca's design office. "This concept is wonderful, Olivia," Rebecca said, looking at the plans her sister had proposed. "It maintains a sophisticated atmosphere while using environmentally friendly materials." Olivia smiled. She had been working at Rebecca's company for 3 months. She was studying to get her interior design qualification while gaining practical experience. "Alex gave me some good ideas," Olivia pointed to a young man talking with her in the cafeteria. Alex Harper was the head of the environmentally conscious architecture division at Ethan's company, and he had met Olivia through Rebecca's introduction. The two had become close through projects and had recently started spending time together outside of work. "He's very serious and sincere," Olivia said with a soft expression. "He's someone who sees what truly matters, more than position or fame." Rebecca was happy to see her sister's transformation. Olivia seemed to be finding her true self, freed from her previous shallow values. Around the same time, at the state prison courtroom, Robert Markworth was being sentenced. With Martha's resolute testimony added, he received a 10-year prison sentence for fraud. As he was leaving the courtroom, Robert threw final words at Olivia. "You chose me for money. We're alike." Olivia stared at him and said quietly, "No. I learned from my mistake. I'm different from you." On Thanksgiving Day, Martha was invited to Rebecca's home. At first, she seemed uncomfortable. Having moved from her large mansion in Maplewood to a modern small apartment, Martha was almost unrecognizable from the former social butterfly. "Grandma, this is for you," Emma presented a handmade card to Martha. It read, "To the world's best grandma." Tears welled up in Martha's eyes. "Thank you, Emma," she hugged her granddaughter and whispered, "I was so foolish." On Christmas party night, the lounge at Ethan's company was filled with warm light. Employees and their families had gathered to celebrate the end of the year. Family photos were being taken in front of the large Christmas tree. "Say cheese." The flash went off, capturing a moment of smiles for eternity. The photo showed Ethan and Rebecca, Emma with her radiant smile, Martha and Olivia, and beside Olivia, Alex with his gentle smile. "This is true family," Martha whispered. On the way home, Rebecca squeezed Ethan's hand in the car. In the back seat, Emma had fallen asleep. Happy? Ethan asked quietly. Very, Rebecca smiled. I've truly realized that family bonds come from love and trust, not appearances or status. Outside the window, snow had begun to fall quietly. Like bringing hope for the new year, white crystals sparkled in the light. Meanwhile, in a cell at the state prison, Robert was looking out the window of his solitary confinement. No one came to visit him. Letters he had sent to Olivia were returned marked refused. Outside the window, families were walking by with smiles. He thought he saw in them the true bonds that he could never obtain.